gentlemen, it is with great honor that I sit down with the 90s most iconic cartoon bully, Justin Shenkarow, aka Harold Berman from Hey Arnold. He has voiced quite a couple of our favorite cartoon characters, from Hey Arnold as Harold Berman, Recess as Gelman, and I think quite a couple other names on your list there. Justin, would you like to elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, it's great to be on your show, Sean. It's Harold. Good stuff, man. It's great to be on the show, talk about all the fun projects. Yeah, Harold from Hey Arnold, Gelman on Recess, Glenn and Grunwald on Life with Louie, Eddie on Lloyd in Space. I mean, there's a lot of wonderful fun characters I've had the pleasure and joy of creating and working on over the course of my many years of being in the biz.
How does it feel to be known as 90s most iconic cartoon bully?
I love it. I'm thrilled. I actually haven't heard that distinction until you just brought it up, Sean. So I love that phrase, but I'm all for it. I mean, let's do it. The 90s most iconic bully, Justin Shenkarow, aka Harold Gelman, and a lot of other fun bullies that probably tortured many of you growing up in the 90s. And I apologize profusely, but it was with a lot of love and care.
I wouldn't say you tortured us as much as you entertained us
There we
growing
go.
up.
That's better. That's what I was looking to do.
So listen, we have a couple questions for you today, if that's okay.
Sure.
What does it take to be Harold Berman, or in other words, what does it take to be a voice actor?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I got started young, so therefore it was probably a little bit slightly different then than it is now. But primarily, you want to put together a 1 minute voiceover reel, which shows the range of different characters you can play. And I always suggest folks who are getting started to jump into like an improv class or an acting class, because a lot of people forget it's voiceover actor. The third word is the most important part of voiceover, because you really have to know how to act to be able to create these characters and get the inner workings of who they are and what they're looking to do and their objectives. It's all the same process as creating a character if you were doing something on camera. And for Harold, yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. I went in on the audition and they had a character drawing of what Harold looked like and about a paragraph worth of dialogue. And I just channeled the bully that was torturing me in my middle school. And I thought, well, that's what Harold's going to sound like. And I kind of deepened my voice, and Harold was there. So that's how Harold came to life.
That's great. It's amazing how real life situations can kind of inspire us to bring out the best in us. In your sense, voice acting and working on such a iconic show as Hey Arnold. If I may ask you, what was your time on Hey Arnold like?
Oh, it was a blast. We had so much fun. It was really unique in the sense that they would bring in all of us actors to record the episodes top to bottom, where typically you go in as an actor on voiceover and you record your lines as just an individual, and you're in and out of the booth in maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes tops. But you're not there with all the other actors that are in that episode. And for Hey Arnold, it was terrific. As I said, they brought all of us in, everybody that was in the episode, and all of us kids. We had our little chairs in our sound booth with our microphones, and we read the script from top to bottom. And then we would read it again. So we were able to infuse a lot of our personalities and improv and working off each other, being in the room. I really feel like that helped bring the show alive even more than the wonderful words that were written on the script.
That's impressive. Voice acting today has changed so much to the point where you don't even need to be in the studio anymore. You can just do it right at your own home. It's such a different take, and you can definitely tell where the people who bring the actors into the booth and record versus when they're at home and not together. The chemistry is just there. And that's what we loved about Hey Arnold, is like the chemistry was just there with you guys.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that the chemistry and being in the room with each other and feeding off each other and hearing and listening and improving really elevated the show and just created, such wonderful characters that were highly unique and fun interactive, and had a lot of depth and personality to each one.
And there were so many real life situations that the show touched up on, from depression to anxiety to loneliness and fear. It was something that a cartoon really didn't touch up on back then.
You're right. It definitely had a lot of depth to it and themes that I don't think cartoons back then really touched on. And frankly, most of them don't touch on now. They're kind of taboo subject matters. And I think that's one of the reasons why the show resonated so well with kids then and continues to be, such a huge hit and be so fond for so many of the kids that grew up watching it.
My next question for you is when it comes to Harold, you told us how you drew inspiration from a bully that you had in real life. What other ways do you come up with different voices?
A lot of that is kind of just thinking about certain characters or archetypes or people I know in real life or using my imagination, seeing a drawing and just suddenly ideas come to mind and I just kind of start spitballing and brainstorming and playing around, thinking about where this character's voice is, what part of my mouth it may come from, who they are, what their desires are. And it just kind of comes naturally. Just being, I think, doing it for quite a long time, it really comes together and it's fun. Just play.
That's kind of the similarities between acting and voiceover acting is regardless of the type of acting you're doing, you're still playing these characters. You are still having fun with the work. What's the most fun that you've had behind the booth? Which character have you loved to do the most?
Oh boy, I mean, that's I can't pick one. Harold obviously is a blast. I love playing Rhino on Spidey and His Amazing Friends, which is out now on Disney Plus, which is an incredible cartoon. And Rhino is a blast. He's so fun to play. So Rhino's right up there. And I mean, I think it's just it's a joy and a pleasure to be able to play all these characters. So I can't pick one in terms of actually being in the booth or being in the studio recording.
How did you land the role of Harold?
Yeah, a great question. I got submitted for the audition from my agent, and I went in person and met with Craig, who's the creator of the show. And Craig had a sheet of what Harold looked like, a drawing, and then a couple paragraphs worth of dialogue. And I went into the voiceover booth and kind of came up with Harold's voice, as I said, kind of channeling my bully. And then started reading the lines, and Craig gave me some feedback and some direction, and I took that direction and applied it to the lines. And it was probably about a 20 to 25-minute audition. And, I think I got a call from my agent a few days later stating that I got the part. So that was the process. It was pretty quick and amazing.
It's amazing how quick they got back to you for it.
Yeah.
Um, so I've been kind of following you for a little bit on TikTok, and one of the things that you do every day is your daily affirmations with Harold.
Hey, you! Yeah, you! If you get home from work and you feel like you're just exhausted and you're just phoning it in and you're not being nice to your partner, well, guess what? I'm not happy about that.
I was wondering if we could possibly get a daily affirmation from you.
Let's do it. Yeah. I mean, I love my little daily affirmations. They're fun.
Harold here, and I'm talking to you, Sean. And let me tell you something. I love that you're doing this podcast. You got to keep doing it. And if you ever get down and think, "Oh, I don't have enough views on it. I don't want to do it. It's a lot of work, and I got to book all the guests." No, 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 no. Put all that out of your mind and just know you're doing it because you love it and you're passionate, and keep doing it. This is your daily affirmation from Harold the Bully.
Love it, man.
There you go. That's what
Absolutely
it's
love
on,
it.
Sean. Nobody's gotten a personal daily affirmation from Harold, so you're on it.
Thank you so much.
You're
That's
welcome.
amazing. Growing up, dealing with my own bullies, and dealing with my own situations, it was always kind of a comfort going home and watching shows like Hey Arnold and seeing how situations with dealing with a bully really helped kids like that. It helped
Mhm.
us find a place to feel welcomed and to feel like we mattered and we belonged. It was such a great show, and seeing a bully like Harold open up layers of actually deep emotional seated problems that he had, it kind of made us all realize that even bullies are people too.
Hmm. That's great to hear. I mean, thank you for sharing that, Sean. When you have the opportunity to do a voice and you're in a project and a show, you're just thrilled to do it. You never know how the impact it's going to have on the audience, and that's lovely to hear. And I think that that resonates with a lot of folks who have talked to about being fans of the show and Harold, which is so great. So thank you. And that was really really fun and important, I think, to show where the layers of Harold. Of course, he was the bully, but he also had a lot of deep insecurities and he was emotionally, he just wanted to be cared for. He wanted to be friends with everybody and he was going through a lot. And for you to see that, for everybody to see that when we're getting picked on as kids, it's good to know that, yeah, the bully is kind of mean and tough and really treating us badly, but it's most likely because they're covering up themselves a lot of issues that they, are kind of not dealing with. And so therefore they're putting this meanness in hurting other kids and whether it's verbally or physically. So I think that was really important to show. At the end of the day, Harold was just a big softie.
Yeah, absolutely was. And I think the episode where he found the kitten, man, I think that definitely
Yeah.
showed that deep layer of his true emotions and his true side.
Cupcake.
Yes, Cupcake. That was, oh my God, that was such an episode, man.
Yeah, it was a good
Uh,
one. That was a good
that
one.
there wasn't many shows when I was a kid that actually made me feel emotions watching, but that show that hit home at certain points. What being in the booth and being a part of the show yourself, what was your favorite episode to work on?
Oh, for me, it was definitely Harold's bar mitzvah. That
Okay.
was my most fun. I had just had a bar mitzvah myself, probably about 9 months before we did that episode, and it was just a blast. I'd never seen a bar mitzvah in a cartoon. I thought that was pretty neat, and a lot of my Jewish friends loved it, and just thought it was the coolest thing ever. Plus, Elliot Gould played the rabbi, and he's iconic. Again, it was a really nice character arc in that episode for Harold. He kind of learned a lot and overcame a lot, and it's just always been my favorite. But again, every episode of Hey Arnold is one of my favorites too. They're all phenomenal.
They absolutely were, but I think I agree with you on that one. That the Bar Mitzvah episode was definitely a interesting take of what it is to be a kid going into a man or an adult. And
Right.
it touched up on, like you said earlier, the insecurities and sensitivity that Harold had issues portraying and voicing himself. And it was one of the most realist episodes that we got out of that show.
Agreed. Totally agree. I mean, you said it much better than I did.
I couldn't say it better than you.
Awesome.
But I have to say, my favorite episode was Stoop Kid. You can't,
Stoop Kid is amazing.
it's one of the most memorable episodes, and I always loved at the end when Harold comes back and he doesn't expect him to get off of that stoop and start chasing him, and he starts running down screaming. Oh my God, you
Stoop kid won't leave his stoop.
can't.
It's so funny.
It is. It is. It's such a great episode. It shows everybody's true side in that episode, honestly. It's one of those few episodes where you see everybody come together for one thing and it matters to somebody. It's
Mhm.
not about the main characters. It's not about like any of the other kids. It's about some random kid who's stuck on a stoop and everybody helps him get
Mhm.
off of that stoop. It was
Yeah.
such a great episode, man.
That's
Um,
right. And so New York. I mean, I don't even know if people know really about Stoops unless you're like an East Coaster.
yeah, I think once you go farther out west, it's kind of more less not a thing.
Not a thing. Not a thing. It's just tract homes and suburban life.
So my next question for you is, what advice would you give those looking to get into voice acting, and how could they better their vocal cords for it?
Yeah, great questions. I would suggest getting into, as I kind of mentioned earlier, like an improv class, whether wherever you're from in the country or around the world, there's typically some type of improv class you can Google and it'll tell you what's local. Do get into doing some stand-up comedy if you know, I mean, I know it's a scary thing. I actually took a stand-up comedy class last year and man, it was scary, but I got up a few times. I want to get back into doing it, but I'm scared. Um, but stand-up comedy is good, improv is good. Getting into an acting class is great. There's a lot of voiceover workshops you can take as well. If you Google, voiceover workshops or voiceover lessons, I would suggest getting in one or two of those. So start getting your feet wet, a good understanding. All of those things will really help you learn. And a lot of voiceover is heavily comedy. So you want to really be able to bring a lot of comedy elements to a character, to the lines, to kind of really elevate it. So that's kind of why I say improv or stand up and acting class because you want to, really hone in on your craft and your chops. And then voiceover so you can, specific classes and workshops so you can learn the craft and technique of being close to the microphone, away from the microphone, how to do three takes for an audition and each take has to be different. All those kind of things that you just learn over the course of doing it. And then once you've kind of done that, then you want to put together like a 1 minute voiceover reel where it's, maybe 8 or 9 different characters that you can play that are really fun, put a little music behind it. And then if you go to Screen Actors Guild, their website, they'll have a list of agents that you can find and they'll have their phone numbers and their emails. And I just recommend, sending out your 1 minute voiceover reel and start, getting an agent who can send you out. And even before that, I mean, I don't personally do it, but I know a lot of people use, I think there's voices.com or voice123.com. I don't know anything about them. I've seen them, but I would say, if there's an opportunity to just start working in that way, maybe just to get your feet wet and put your information up there, that's a great way to, start learning as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, I actually did a voiceover class quite a few years ago, and I absolutely loved it. It was such a blast. It's
That's
so
awesome.
much fun just getting behind the booth and hearing your voice like actually in like
Yep.
some kind of quick like commercial that they'll do for you. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
I would agree with you on that. It's definitely worth it.
I agree. It's a blast, and you learn and it's fun and you maybe build some community. Maybe you're able to meet some other folks who can open some doors or just kind of you can practice with. So it's all around a really good thing.
I do have to ask you. We got the quite a couple years ago, we got the Hey Arnold Jungle movie,
Yeah.
and that was such a blast to see all the kids back together again, and Arnold finally reuniting with his sorry, spoilers.
Teaser.
Don't want to spoil.
Spoiler.
But seeing that film and having everybody back together again, it really brought a lot of nostalgia and happiness to us kids who grew up in the 90s watching that show. Is there any hint towards any future Hey Arnold projects that we might get?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, that was it was a blast doing the movies and bringing everybody back together. It was so fun. I think, I was just looking at some pictures a couple days ago. I think that was back in 2017, if I'm correct, which just feels like so long ago now, right?
Yes.
I mean, that was freaking 9 years ago, which is wild how time flies. But yeah, I mean, look, we would love to do season 6 of Hey Arnold, and I know the cast would love to do it. I know Craig would love to do it. I think even pitched Nickelodeon a couple times, and it just hasn't happened. I mean, maybe at one point it will, and that would be a blast. We would all love to do it, but there's no kind of inside info that I can share with you that is like it's happening because you know as much as I do.
Well, if anyone from Nickelodeon watches this, we want it back. Everybody misses that show, and we would love to see Harold back. We would love to see Arnold and Gerald and all the gang back together again, just even for one more season. It would be great just to kind of tie everything up.
I love it, Sean. You know, if you're out there, Nickelodeon executive, listen to what Sean said. He's the man, he knows, and we all want to do it.
If I may ask you one more question,
Yep.
where do you see yourself in 5 years, and how do you hope to achieve those goals?
Good question. Hopefully, continuing to work as an actor and a producer and a writer and director, and continuing on this journey of creating wonderful content, working on fantastic projects with other creatives, and just enjoying every day.
That's great, man. I uh I would love to have you on as one of my projects, and I would absolutely love to have you back on as a guest on this podcast here soon.
Thank you, Sean. This was awesome coming on. Super fun. Great chatting with you. Yeah,
You
ping
too.
me. Let's stay in touch on TikTok. And,
Absolutely.
I'd love to see your projects that you're working on, and let's do this again in the future.
You got it, man. Let's set something up soon.
Have a great night, buddy, and thank you
You
so much. And
too.
send it to me when it's all finished.
I absolutely will. Thank you so much.
All right.
Uh,
Have a good night.
Justin, thank you.